My wife wanted to get pregnant by the one who got away. To make it happen, she proposed a fake divorce. That woman is accusing Caleb of being impotent to deny him assets, Victoria said, her eyes pleading. I need to prove her wrong. I didn't hesitate. I threw a punch that nearly broke her nose. If we divorce, it's real, and you walk away with nothing. My hardline stance left her stunned. She clutched her face, staring at me in disbelief. Mason, you dare hit me? I only hit animals, I replied coldly. Listen to yourself. Do you hear human logic in those words? She stomped her foot, threatening to actually marry Caleb. I reminded her, you stopped having periods last month. Does he really want a hen that can't lay eggs? Victoria's arrogance vanished instantly. Victoria Vance and I were a business merger. In 7 years of marriage, we hadn't conceived due to her premature ovarian failure. That never affected my love for her, until Caleb Thorne returned to New York. Caleb was Victoria's first love. Years ago, her parents drove him away because he was poor. He took a payoff and left the country in disgrace. Victoria cried for weeks, then let her parents arrange her marriage to me. I was kept in the dark. I only learned the truth after the wedding. I figured since she hadn't cheated, the past was the past. I treated Victoria like a queen. Eventually, she warmed to me. Our life was sweet, perfect aside from the lack of children. Then Caleb came back, crying to Victoria about his miserable marriage. Why contact an ex if you're married? I wasn't happy. I forbade her from seeing him, but she refused. That was our first real fight. Afterward, she softened, swearing she only saw him as a friend. She had wrapped her arms around my neck, pressing her cheek to mine. He can't compare to you, hubby. She blinked, whispering seductively. I learned some new tricks. We reconciled in the bedroom, but the sweetness was a facade. Caleb called constantly. Whenever his number flashed, Victoria seemed possessed. She'd abandoned me, abandoned work, just to run to him. He's fragile right now, she'd argue. His marriage is crumbling. He needs support. Aren't you worried about our marriage crumbling? I asked, cold cynicism in my voice. You're acting like a woman in love. I think you're cheating. She denied it vehemently. I just want to make up for the past. My family treated him horribly. Right? They forced you to marry the billionaire. I laughed bitterly. Victoria swore Caleb was history. Just a friend. I was sick of hearing it. Then came the news. Caleb was in a divorce battle. His wife claimed he was impotent to secure a larger settlement. Victoria wanted to be his surrogate to prove his virility. Mason, Caleb doesn't trust other women. He's afraid of being blackmailed. He begged me. Her voice trailed off under my glare. 7 years of marriage, incinerated. I refused. It was cuckoldry, plain and simple. You're willing to carry his child, but in 7 years, you haven't given me one? Do you have any conscience? Guilt flickered in her eyes. Fine, I'll just get him the best lawyer. She tried to hug me. I push her away. The affection is dead. I want a divorce. Victoria looked wronged. I said I wouldn't do it. Why are you still making a scene? You've already cheated emotionally. You think I'm making a scene? I laughed in disbelief. Since he came back, you're never home. You finally have dinner with me, and it's to discuss bearing his child. Rage took over. I flipped the dining table. Dishes shattered. Soup splattered across her designer dress. Victoria shrieked, backing away, wiping her face. I had never been violent before. It was just a suggestion. I haven't done it yet, she cried. Why are you so jealous? Caleb promised not to touch me. It's purely platonic. He's helpless right now. Platonic? Is it appropriate for a married woman to spend every night with her ex? I care about you too, she stammered. Care about me? Last week, I had a high fever and went to the ER alone. Where were you? I didn't know, she said, stunned. I pulled up my call log. I called you 30 times. You were stargazing with Caleb. I showed her the screenshot from Caleb's Instagram. A photo of a night sky, captioned, in this moment, only you and I. Victoria Blush. I didn't know he posted that. Of course not. He hid from you. He posted it for me to see. A power move. I didn't see your calls. Save it. Caleb blocked me on your phone. In this moment, only you and I, right? Mason, stop being so nasty. You're acting nasty. Maybe I should tell the public and let them judge. I moved to call her father. She stopped me, wheedling, trying to use sex to distract me. Get off. You disgust me. I shoved her. She stumbled. You've changed, Mason. You're not half the man Caleb is. Screw Caleb. I punched her, swelling her eyes shut. That night, I went to a high-end club and booked a VIP table with 10 hostesses. The music pounded, the alcohol flowed, and for a few $100 apiece, these women gave me better company than my wife. I built my empire from scratch to match the Vance family's wealth. If not for business synergy, I never would have married Victoria. I was done. Suddenly, The VIP door swung open. Victoria stormed in, furious, despite her black eye. And behind her, looking like a lost puppy, was Caleb. She tried to chase the girls away. I blocked her. Nobody leaves. Am I still your wife? She demanded. A wife is just a woman. I shot back. Why make it hard for them? They have gambling fathers, sick mothers, and tuition to pay. I'm practically running a charity. Victoria choked on her words. Caleb stepped forward, offering a fake smile. Mason, don't be mad at her. It's my fault. She just cares too much. Passive-aggressive little weasel. Seeing him wearing my custom shirt triggered something in me. You know who I am, and you still wreck my marriage? I grabbed him by the hair and slammed his face onto the marble table. Caleb was tall but frail. He crumbled instantly. Victoria screamed like a banshee. It's okay, let him vent, Caleb gasped, playing the martyr. As long as you're happy, Victoria, I can take it. Disgusting. Who said I was done? Ladies, strip him. $1,000 to whoever gets a piece of clothing. The hostesses swarmed. In seconds, Caleb was down to his boxers and socks, his ribs showing through his pale skin. Clearer than an X-ray, one girl sneered. Caleb's eyes flashed with venom, but he hid behind Victoria. I threw the shirt at Victoria's face. Why is he wearing my clothes? It was raining. He got wet. She stammered. I laughed, a sound void of humor. So he ran to my house in the middle of the night? Our issues involved Caleb, so I brought him over to apologize. Victoria tried to explain. Then the storm hit. I had to give him something dry to wear. That's a $3,000 shirt. He's not fit to wipe the floor with it. I pulled out my lighter and set the fabric on fire right there in the club. The hostesses giggled as the silk turned to ash. Victoria turned pale. Mason, enough. You're embarrassing me. You embarrassed yourself. Come home. Now. Get out. I want a divorce. No. She grabbed my arm. The women here are dirty. Dirty? They're cleaner than you. She tried to slap me. I caught her wrist and slapped her back. Crack. You hit me again? You earned it. I smirked. You think I don't know what Caleb is doing? It's pathetic. Seeing Victoria hit gave Caleb his cue. He puffed out his bony chest. Mason Sterling, don't hurt her. I'll call the police. My eyes landed on his boxers. Those are mine too. I reached out and ripped the fabric. The girl shrieked. Caleb covered himself frantically. Mason, you'll regret this. Victoria hissed, dragging a humiliated Caleb out of the room. Regret? Impossible. Days later, I heard they went to a fertility clinic. Victoria was going through with it. I met with Caleb's wife, Scarlett. She was stunning, more voluptuous than Victoria, with a sharp, mature edge. $5 million, I said, sliding a check across the table. Help me bury Caleb. She hesitated. We're still married. I know you're not, I interrupted. You're his girlfriend, not his wife. He's scamming Victoria for the Vance fortune. He's using the surrogacy to trap her, counting on me divorcing her so he can swoop in. I dropped a file of photos on the table. I also know about your past. You like money, so take the check, or I go to the police for fraud. Scarlett looked at the check, then at me. What do you want me to do? Destroy him. I pulled her close. That afternoon, Scarlett switched sides. Completely. I moved out. I bought Scarlett a condo. She was obedient, grateful, and far more exciting than Victoria ever was. Then came the news. Victoria had successfully conceived. I went to the Vance estate to confront her parents. Under the prenup, infidelity meant walking away with nothing. I demanded Victoria's 15% stake in the family company. Her father, Richard Vance, looked thunderous. Her mother, Eleanor, looked faint. I played the recordings. I showed the texts. Pregnant with another man's child? Richard roared. They summoned Victoria immediately. She walked in, saw me, and faltered. Mason, let's talk at home. Richard blocked her path. Is it true? He waved the medical report I provided. Victoria panicked, grabbed the paper, tore it up, and swallowed the pieces. No evidence, she declared triumphantly. Childish, I said, pulling 4 more copies from my briefcase. I have plenty. Her parents berated her, then tried to bribe me. I'll give you 3% on the East Side project, Richard offered. I want the 15% of the company, I insisted. The prenup wasn't notarized, Richard bluffed. Yes, it was. I handed him the documents. His face fell. You're robbing us, Eleanor shrieked. Mom, look at this first. I handed Eleanor an envelope. She opened it. Photos of Richard with his young assistant at hotels, restaurants, in bed. Eleanor's face went from pale to beet red. She smiled, a terrifying expression. Mason, you're a genius. Victoria's shares are yours. Victoria was confused. Mom, you shut up. Eleanor snapped. Victoria grabbed the envelope. Photos spilled out. But not just of Richard. There were photos of Eleanor with her gym trainer. Richard saw them. He kicked Eleanor. "You old hag. I thought you were working out." "You hypocrite." Eleanor lunged at him. "You're sleeping with a girl 40 years younger than you." They began to brawl. Richard pulled Eleanor's hair. She bit his ear. It was a bloodbath. I leaned into Victoria's ear. "You really are a Vance. Cheating runs in the blood." She looked shattered. In the melee, Richard accidentally shoved Victoria into a heavy oak cabinet. She collapsed, clutching her stomach. The baby, the one she drugged herself to conceive, was gone. The miscarriage left Victoria hollow. The doctor told her the damage was permanent. She would never conceive again. Her parents were too busy destroying each other in divorce court to care. Victoria lay in her hospital bed, finally realizing what she had lost. She called Caleb. "We can get a surrogate," she suggested weakly. Caleb's face darkened. "Victoria, I told you. I need to be your child. I don't trust strangers." He tried to hold her hand. She flinched. "Don't worry," she whispered. "Women are realistic. Without money, no one else will look at you." Caleb went silent. After her discharge, Victoria came in my office. She looked thinner, fragile. "Mason, I had no boundaries. Forgive me. I'll cut Caleb off. Let's go back to how it was." "It's over," I said, not looking up from my paperwork. "I don't want a barren wife. If insulting me helps, go ahead. But I won't divorce. You took illegal drugs to force ovulation. You probably have 5 years to live." I lied effortlessly. "I need an heir." She coughed, actually spitting a speck of blood from stress. You think I'm dying?" I sued for divorce. Simultaneously, I unleashed the media. Billionaire, heiress, surrogacy scandal. The Vance stock plummeted. Desperate, Richard Vance invited me to negotiate. He offered to force the divorce and transfer the shares if I stopped the media assault and the hostile takeover. "You want me to clean up the mess?" I asked, eyeing his buxom young assistant. "Mason, be reasonable." Suddenly, the door flew open. Eleanor stormed in. "I knew you were with this slut." She attacked the assistant. Then a massive man, the gym trainer, burst in and shoved Richard to the floor. Richard pulled an insulin pen from his pocket and stabbed the trainer in the chest. "D." The trainer screamed. Eleanor reassured him. "It's just insulin." The office turned into a wrestling ring. I filmed it all and sent it to Victoria. "Come collect the bodies." She arrived, hysterical, breaking up the fight. With Richard's help, I got the divorce and shares. I walked out of the courthouse a free man. Victoria stood on the steps, weeping. "I'll win you back, Mason." I didn't look back. Months later, at my company's New Year gala, I was handing out bonuses. The mood was electric. Then, the doors opened. Victoria entered, wearing a wedding dress. She knelt before me in front of hundreds of employees. "Mason, will you marry me again?" The room went silent. "I don't need to buy the cow," I said into the microphone. "Why tie myself to a dead tree?" She crumbled. Then Caleb appeared, playing the hero. "Victoria, he's not worth it. Let's rekindle our love." I laughed. "Victoria, you claim to want me, but you keep this parasite around." "He's just helping," she cried. "He's destroying you," I said. "And for the record, Scarlett." Scarlett walked onto the stage, looking radiant in an evening gown. I took her hand. Caleb looked like he'd seen a ghost. "Scarlett, what are you doing?" "I'm his date," Scarlett said coolly. "And I'm done with you, Caleb. Please have some dignity." "You're my wife," Caleb roared. "We were never married," Scarlett announced to the crowd. "He's a fraud." Victoria looked between them. "But the lawsuit." "There was no lawsuit," Scarlett smiled. "Have you ever seen a court document?" Victoria grabbed Caleb by the collar. "You lied to me?" Caleb, cornered and humiliated, snapped. He lunged at me. "I'll kill you, Mason." I sidestepped his clumsy swing and drove a fist into his nose. He hit the floor. I kicked him in the ribs, and he vomited his dinner. Victoria rushed over. "Mason, stop. You'll go to jail. Get lost." I backhanded her, sending her sprawling. Scarlett walked over to Victoria and showed her the chat logs. The plotting, the insults, the plan to steal the Vance fortune. Victoria read them. Her trembling stopped. Her sorrow evaporated, replaced by a cold, crimson rage. She stood up and walked toward Caleb. I saw the murder in her eyes and stepped back. Victoria lifted her foot. Her stiletto heel hovered over Caleb's groin. He tried to scramble away, but she brought it down. Hard. The sound was sickening, a wet crunch. Caleb's scream was a high-pitched, inhuman wail. His eyes bulged. "You ruined me. Victoria Svikiv." She stomped again, and again. The gala guests watched in horror, but no one moved. The only sound was the dull thud of the heel and Caleb's fading gurgles. "I lost everything for you." By the time security pulled her off, Caleb Thorne was gone. The aftermath was swift. Richard and Eleanor divorced, their empire shattered. I absorbed the remnants of the Vance Corporation. Victoria was arrested for manslaughter. The heat of passion defense saved her from murder one, but she was going away for a long time. I visited her in prison. She looked haggard. Mason, I took care of him. Can you forgive me now? I slid a medical report across the glass. Scarlett was pregnant. I'm going to be a father, I said. Victoria wept. She's damaged goods. She's a second-hand woman. I'm not looking for a wife right now, I said calmly. Wait for me, she begged. I'll be out in 10 years. Wait for you. I laughed. I held up a photo of me on a yacht, surrounded by beautiful women. Victoria, I don't trip over the same stone twice. The world is too big. I stood up and walked away, leaving her screaming my name against the bulletproof glass. Epilogue: Caleb's perspective. I met Scarlett at a massage parlor. Her touch was soft, like the tide coming in. Sick mom, gambling dad, broken dreams. She was a good girl, trapped in a bad life. Why did the world treat us like trash? Since God wouldn't save her, I decided I would. Then I remembered Victoria Vance, the rich girl who used to follow me around. I would use the Vance fortune to save my love. I would burn them all to keep Scarlett warm. It was supposed to be perfect. Story complete.